So now we are ready to do the first movement of the third section as S, and it begins with the diamond. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, diamond, 1, 2, 3, symmetry, descending left leg, 2, 3, 4, right leg descend, 2, 3, 4, second set, 1, 2, 3, diamond, 1, 2, 3, complete, right leg descend, 2, 3, 4, left leg descend, 2, 3, 4. Once we arrive, we can repeat this movement as many times as we want to. The first set begins on the left, the second set begins on the right. Now, once you practice that and you feel comfortable, remember that you can lift the hip, remember that you can just redefine between both legs the symmetry, remember that the left leg corresponds to the right side of your torso and vice versa. You can begin to practice again. Now this is practice, this is not as the movement, the practice of the leg and the arm combined. So the left leg goes into a diamond and 4 counts, and the right arm goes to the moon. And then spend a few seconds here. That's the moon, half of the moon, and now the other half. And here I am in the moon diamond, right there. And you can spend a few seconds here finding the passing through nature of your arms and hands, and then the exuding of the legs, and then descend with the left leg and bring your arms around to neutral, and then descend and bring the best you can. This is just to be able to begin to sense how the transversal direction between legs and arms takes place. Very gently. When you're right here, I will spend a few seconds here. Your head is supported by the pillow, so you don't feel like it's a lot of pressure on your neck. And then the second set, the right leg and the left arm come back to neutral, and then the complete itself. Then each time that you arrive, make sure that you are symmetrical, and then to do that you can lift the hip, you can move a little bit, shrinking, just shaking a little bit the hips, then you can lift the spine to make sure that your neck and head, and then you're ready to go to the second set, right here, moon diamond, complete. And this is a very wonderful place because it opens your heart, it opens your arms through you, it exudes, it opens the diamond through your hips. And then as you're descending with the legs, you're coming back to neutral, and then you return to the same place you started. This is a practice. Then you arrive for a moment, and then if you feel comfortable, you can elongate the leg and elongate the other leg as a practice. Adjust the coccyx a little bit, find that neutral, find the head, find the symmetry in your mind of the right and the left in your torso and arms, right and the left in your legs. Notice that my legs are a little bit rotated, opening the hip, so I'm not like extended just linearly, but just extended very gently, and then relax for a few seconds, regroup right here. And now I would like to assist you to see another practice of the arms that then it will help you when we learn the second movement. Yeah? So I'm going to place the pillow for this one, for this practice. We're going to place a pillow to put my legs on top of pillows, and then we're going to keep, actually we may not need the pillow in the head, but you see for yourself when you practice if you need it or not. So in here we find the 0-point elongation, in the pillows under the knees help you for you to be very light in the sacrum, so you don't feel like the sacrum start creating weight and your legs start getting heavy when you start working with your arms. So as we said, we have learned the movements of the diamond of the leg and the arms descending, one at a time, starting with the left, starting with the right. And now the next movement that you're going to practice is this. You define 0 point, you go to neutral, and then the right arm is going to go to the moon by itself, and then the left arm is going to go to the moon. And when you arrive to the moon, then the right arm is going to go to the upper diagonal as the moon remains in the moon. And then when you arrive to the upper diagonal, the left arm is going to be the other side of it, right there. Now, then the first arm that it went up, it becomes returning back into the moon, and then the left arm returning back into the moon, and then the right arm goes into the upper diagonal, and the left arm goes to the upper diagonal. This is the transversal connection of your arms. And then when you finish both sets, bring both arms very gently to the moon, and then descending back into neutral. So we're going to do it again. So it's not complex. It's a practice that you learn to move one arm at a time, and yet through the motion of your arms you keep the polarities and the directions that they will facilitate the learning of the next movement, which is the second movement of the third section. You will see it in a moment, but this is important for you just to very gently practice. We begin by going to the moon with the right arm, 2, 3, and we define half of the moon, and then the other half of the moon becomes the completion right there. And once you complete it, the right arm that initiates the movement begins to create a transversal connection right there. And now when you arrive with the right arm, the left one goes by itself into the completion right there. Now the movement starts again with the right arm. We'll come back to the moon right there, and then we'll return to it. And when you arrive, the right one begins to go back very gently, and then the left one begins to go back. And when you arrive, when you feel like you're ready to complete the motions, you come back with both arms to the moon, you touch the moon, and then you know how to descend because you have done it in the beginning of the second section, right there. So when you do this motion, don't be concerned about, one arm is started. It's just the idea of going one arm at a time to the moon, and the first arm that it initiates to go to the moon is the arm that it goes to the upper diagonal, and then so forth. So it's not so much about where it goes where, it's just learning to go from one arm at a time to the moon to attend to symmetry, and then going asymmetrically again to the upper diagonal, and so forth. Okay? So now, after you become acquainted with that idea that you're moving one arm at a time, then we're ready to learn the second movement of the third section, which is called moon diamond.